Hey guys, welcome to Daily Analysis. This is actually my second video because I accidentally posted one with a no sound malfunction, and I apologize for that. But I'll cover the stuff real quickly. Mainly what I'm talking about today is the euro and pound strength that has been really evident in the market while most of the other currencies are not doing a lot. So I'm going to cover all euro and pound crosses: euro dollar, euro pound, euro odd, and euro yen, and then one other pound cross. What was the other pound cross I wanted to cover? I don't know, but you'll find out because I'll get to it eventually. Okay, so that's what I'm covering today, and let me cover the news and our terms real quickly. Alright guys, so for news tomorrow, I mentioned that the euro and the pound are really the most, the most moving, the most liquid pairs right now that I would be paying attention to, and there is both euro and pound news in the London session at very early Eastern time that you want to pay attention to. The German IFO should be a pretty big announcement, so make sure you're paying attention to that one. As far as New York session news is concerned, the building permits for the US dollar is our only red tagged event. That's in the main, the morning in New York. Later on, kind of overlapping New York, London, New York and Asian, is New Zealand news, and then there's also tentative Japan news. Okay, so those are the red tagged events. The biggest event that I see there is the German IFO, because the euro is on a tear, and that could either continue that tear or maybe bounce it back into submission, and so that's the main one that I think is going to impact the market as they're moving right now. Okay. Alright guys, and the terms just basically say that we're not financial advisors, we're not registered or qualified to be financial advisors, that the daily analysis is just our personal opinions about the market, and it's just an educational resource. It's not to be taken as investment advice, okay? So if you need to read through those more thoroughly, please go ahead and pause the video and do that. I'm going to go ahead and get into our chart. Alright guys, so the first thing I want to talk about is the pound dollar as it's retesting this major resistance zone, and one important thing to note here is that the zone is pretty wide. It's about 70 pips wide in terms of bottom of the zone to top, so I guess it's 70 pips high, not wide, but it's 70 pips from the bottom of the zone to the top, and so the issue here is where to get in. Now, the one major thing to note about any trading strategy is that you want to get the best price, and that's obvious. The best price gives you the shortest stop loss, assuming that you're going to use the stop loss that makes the most sense regardless of your entry, and it also gives you the most profit potential, assuming that you're going to use the same target regardless of your entry, which I think is the way to trade. I don't think that you should make your target bigger just because you got in at a worse price and make your stop loss bigger just because you got in at a better price. I think that you should have a sensible stop loss and target regardless of where your entry falls into on the zone. So typically that means you want to get in at the very top of the zone. Now there's also a downside to that, and that has to do with a couple factors. Number one is obviously you might miss the entry. Here's the most resistance right here, not right here, and so it might come here and then shoot all the way down, which is not likely considering the trend line and some other points, but anyway, let's just say it does. And then you also have the issue of it might come all the way to the top of the zone and then just range. So depending on your strategy, there's something to figure out here. It's very debatable, I guess is the best word to say, as far as when you should enter here. The one thing I will note is that the major pro of entering now is that you won't miss the entry if it does bounce down, and that's obvious, and that it has the most resistance points here. And the main pro of entering up here would be that it's the most obvious profit potential. So that's something you'd have to figure out in your own trading plan. I personally would be okay with entering now with smaller size and then actually thinking about adding later on if it does retest the top. To me, that would actually be the most strategic way of entering. But of course, it depends on your own strategy, because if your own strategy does not include adding, then you obviously cannot do it the way that I just suggested. So again, it comes back to you. And I'm sorry for talking so fast. I just want to get this video out because I messed up the first one. Okay, the next pair to quickly cover is the euro dollar, and it's interesting that as the market is supposed to be pretty calm, or at least pretty rangy, maybe even not calm, maybe sporadic, but still rangy, the euro dollar is shooting through new highs and actually just broke through our major level around 131 here. So pretty big break in my opinion. It has not been broken since this period of time. You see I have a horizontal line here. The last time it was broken, which is May of 2012, so that's pretty critical level, and we'll see if it can continue. Obviously, a pretty high probability here is that it will retest this major level before moving either higher or lower. I always say that, you know, a break of a major level almost always comes with a retest, so that's definitely something to keep an eye on. And if it is going to continue, many times you can get a better price by playing the retest, but you do have to be careful of a fake out and a continuation as well, which is something that I frequently talk about. So that's what to look for on the euro dollar. And let me actually move into another euro pair which has an even better break, and that would be the euro yen. And now the break has not actually officially happened. It's testing the 2012 highs right now, but the euro yen has just done an incredible up move. I mean, the euro dollar cannot compare to this up move. This is actually August, and since August it has moved over 1,700 pips to the upside, which is really an incredible move for the euro yen. You know, pretty much the same crash that happened before earlier in 2012. And it's just an amazing move. So if it breaks here, this will be the new high for 2012, happening at the very, very end of 2012, and a very significant break. So keep an eye on the euro yen. Again, I'm just blown away by the move here. I thought the crash earlier in 2012 was basically an unmatchable crash, but you can see that the rally is just as steep and really covered just as many pips. So pretty incredible move, and one definitely worth continuing to track to see if we get a break and a continuation, or perhaps another massive reversal starting off 2013, which is definitely one you would not want to miss. So that's the euro yen, and let me cover just one more pair here. And the last pair I want to cover here is the euro pound. Which, again, you know, because I'm covering the euro and the pound so much, I definitely want to cover the euro pound cross. And because the euro and pound are both moving, it's interesting to see which one is stronger. And you can see that as of late, it's definitely the euro. The euro is the strongest pair on the board, making a great move and a great continuation up from 80.50. Now we did run into our level here, which we suggested would happen, and it bounced off of it in a bearish direction, but now has come right back to retest. And so the question is, can we finally break through to the bullish side here? I'm of the opinion that we will break it. I don't know how long that will take, and I don't know, you know, if it's going to bounce 100 pips lower first, but I do think that we will get an eventual break of this 81.50, 81.60 level, and I think it's just a matter of time. Hopefully we can get a break soon so that there's some continuation potential, but obviously I don't really have a high probability assumption that's going to happen. I think that it definitely can, but I don't have anything leading me to believe that that's going to happen in the next few days, other than just that there's great euro momentum and great euro bullishness, but that's not enough to assume that a level will be broken. So that's just one you have to wait on, but I think that there's high probability that this will happen eventually, and I think the euro pound is moving great right now, so why not now? And if it does break, then we'll be talking about some great continuation possibilities after that, so that's something to stay tuned for. Okay, actually, let me cover the euro odd. I said this was my last pair, but I want to cover the euro odd real quickly because I think I might have mentioned that at the beginning of the analysis. I just want to point out that the euro odd had a massive bullish day today. You can see that, you know, the bullish bar has been even bigger than the previous rally of bullishness, and we're coming right into this 61.8 level. Actually, on my MT4 charts, we're at the 61.8 level. I don't know why it shows up a little different on the TradeStation charts here that I use for the analysis, but on my actual trading charts, which is the MT4, it's right into the 61.8. So kind of interesting there. But regardless, in my opinion, this is basically the next major level before we talk about coming to the previous high, which is, you know, 128.50 area. Okay, so that's the analysis, guys. Again, I do apologize for messing up the earlier one, and I sure hope that you were still able to get to this. Obviously, if you're watching it, you have been, and I hope it wasn't too much of a trouble and an annoyance for you. All right, thanks again, and I'll talk to you soon.